Y'all, AI has made my job harder and not easier, and I'm gonna tell you why.
So I'm gonna give you a quick clip note of her video. She's a software engineer. I'm actually about to go follow her now. But anyway, she's a software engineer, and she's essentially talking about how AI has made her job harder and not easier. So what she talks about is like people are basically coming in and they don't understand the foundational logic. Like they don't understand the concepts. They don't understand how to debug, how to think through problems. Like that is missing, and they are essentially relying on AI to do these things. And in that, it causes an error or it breaks something, and then somebody else comes in that might be a junior level, and they try to fix it using AI. They try to fix that code using AI, and it's just a big mess because the intent was never clear. It was never clear, and it's a mess. And over time, what's happening is those systems break. Like in my experience, it might be a pipeline, or your code might run and it might not be optimized, or whatever the case is, but some gonna break. And guess who has to fix it? The people that are responsible for fixing it are the ones that understand. They understand the foundational concept of like what happened, like what you did wrong. Now, I've been screaming this from the rooftops because I think I made a video about this like a year or so ago, because I started to see a trend where people were out here with just prompts and vibes. Like you don't have no understanding, you don't even know how to properly use the prompt, you don't know how to push back if the prompt is wrong, you don't know the right things to ask, you don't know what you're looking for. You just are essentially prompt putting something in chat and regurgitating, and it's clear. And I'm not even finna talk about like the false sense of confidence that it opens up, because it makes people think that like they know or can do more than what they actually can and know or do. And I don't mean that from like a negative way. I mean that from like a, you have to understand what you're doing. Like you really have to. And I see this all the time in interviews, which is why they started like honing down really hard on technical assessment. Like they made it harder to get in this space because of things like that. But like in interviews, you're asked to like talk through the concepts. If you use a certain syntax, can you explain why? What was the purpose of that? What data did the table pull from? Or, you have to be able to explain that, because you have to understand why and what you're doing. And like I said, I've sat on interview panels on both sides, like throughout my career. I've been senior level like throughout my entire career. So I've sat on both sides. And you can always tell when people like get their confidence or fully have leaned on like chat to like guide like their thought process or their knowledge. Because first of all, everybody sounds the same. Let's talk about that. Everybody sounds the same, but also that critical thinking is lacking, and the inability to be able to conceptualize whatever concepts that you applied is heavily lacking. You can't even explain what you did. And in real systems, the people that understand those concepts are responsible for fixing it. And I see it all the time. I see it on social media. I just see so much. I see it in my tech groups. And I'm like, y'all don't do this. Or y'all, I see it so much. And I'm just glad that like other senior level or people that have been within the space, like for real, are like speaking out about it now, because it's going to cause like, or it has already caused like a lot of upstream impact. It is. You cannot fully just depend on AI. AI is data. And all the time like liken it to like, you have to understand what you're looking at. It's no different than like if I give like a toddler a calculator. If I give a toddler a calculator and I'm like, hey, what's 2 plus 2? Some toddlers will know. But if you don't understand math, how you gonna know if it's right? Like it's the same thing. Like it's the same thing. And I preach this a lot. If you want to be successful in tech in general, I don't care if it's software engineering, data engineering, cybersecurity, technical writing, whatever facet of tech you're in, you have to understand logic. You have to be a critical thinker. You have to be curious. You got to figure that shit out. Like, you have to work well with like autonomy, and you have to be able to think through concepts. You have to, because you're hired to solve problems. And if you are solely depending on chat or AI or something to like guide you, you're not ready. You're not ready. And I think it's important to like take inventory, because I don't mean it in a gatekeeping way, but you're not ready. If I can't give a problem and you can't reverse engineer it and you can't explain how you got there and what you did and what was the impact, you're not ready. And it's not in a mean way, I promise you, because this is not my field to keep. But also, if you do not understand what you're doing, you're not going to do anything but stress yourself out. That's it. Because this is not a space of like, it's not a space that like we're constantly solving problems all the time. It's always a problem. Always. That's why when I get out of work, I be so tired. Like I've been solving problems all day. And I also say this all the time. I don't have any beef with AI because it can accelerate understanding, but it cannot replace that foundational learning. It can't. It can't. You got to get under the hood. You have to understand things, and you have to be able to apply those concepts. And you have to be able to communicate those things as well. You have to. It's non negotiables.